Maoist commander Madvi Hidma during the protest and were also armed with chili sprays. That's right, these protesters used chili sprays on the police personnel who were on the spot to control the law and order situation in the city. The Delhi police claims that several of their personnel were targeted by these protesters with chili sprays, and some of them were also hospitalized after the incident. The police officials have now assured stringent action against these unruly elements.
We requested them multiple times that they should not block the road, they should not block the Hijacked, which is a main movement path. When I saw that many of the ambulances and people were behind that and they were facing difficulties, they were getting agitated. So we had to remove that. By removal, they not only use the force and violence against the police personnel, but also we also first time come across that they use chili spray against the police personnel, and few of our police personnel got the spray on their face and the eyes, and they are getting treatment in the RML hospital, and we are taking legal action on that.
In fact, the BJP has also questioned the intent of these protests and asked why there were no protests when the so-called urban Naxal chief minister was ruling Delhi. The reference that has been made is to the former Delhi chief minister Arvind Kejriwal. But let's tell you what the BJP's IT cell chief Amit Malviya has actually put out on social media last evening. In fact, he has claimed that these are all motivated protests. Let's take a look at what the BJP is saying regarding these protests. In fact, BJP's Amit Malviya took to social media, and here's what he goes on to say, saying no major protests when Delhi had the urban Naxal chief minister. So he claims that since the BJP government has come to power in Delhi, that's when the protests broke out. He in fact cited some examples and said that the pollution has always been bad in the national capital, but we didn't see these protests in the previous years when Arvind Kejriwal was the chief minister of Delhi. Then he went on to say suddenly we have activists who are protesting over pollution, and then also raising questions on whether this protest is even about air pollution. He said loonies are just pretending to cry over air quality. They're brazenly carrying placards that glorify dead Naxalites. So this is the charge that has come in from the BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya. My colleague Mohit is joining us live on the broadcast with the details. Mohit, this was a protest over pollution, and clearly it escalated to something more, raising several questions. Is this actually a protest about pollution, or is it something else?
Well, in fact, that is the question now that is being asked by everybody. Now, it started off as a protest against pollution, and Pratibha, mind you, everybody has right to protest against the deteriorating air quality index in Delhi, and the questions have to be raised from the Delhi government. That is one aspect of it. But when the protesters sit over there with posters of dreaded Naxalite, Madvi Hidma, this is something which is very shocking. They were eulogizing him, and while they were speaking to media, they were speaking about Madvi Hidma, which is something which is very, very serious. Now, that particular Naxalite was just eliminated by our security forces, and he was responsible for many killings of security forces personnel, and also in 2013 Darba Valley attack in Sukma district, where top leadership of the Congress party in Chhattisgarh was attacked, and the top leadership was completely wiped out. 27 congressmen were killed in that attack. Now, these persons at that particular time did not protest. They did not come out in support of the Congress party leaders. And now what we see is that these people were, and it seems, Pratibha, that is part of the larger conspiracy. This was not a protest for air pollution. If you want to protest about air pollution in Delhi, why will you have posters of a Naxalite in that particular poster? Why will you eulogize him? So it seems that in garb of these particular protests, in garb of air pollution, protests against air pollution, these people were trying to eulogize Madvi Hidma, and the question is that that is a very high security area. Now, we know for a fact that how post-Delhi blast, the Delhi is under high alert. These people reached over there and they were eulogizing that, and that is where the BJP is hitting out at a certain ecosystem, saying that this is something which is very shocking, and the Delhi police.
And is this a protest about air pollution at all? If yes, then why is a Maoist leader being glorified? We have Shivam and Akanksha also with us, and Akanksha, the BJP has leveled a big charge and raised questions. If these protests are actually about air pollution, why didn't we see these protests before, and why are there posters of the Maoist leader in these protests?
Absolutely, Pratibha. What started as a protest over air pollution turned violent. In fact, have a look first up at the poster that they are holding from Birsa Munda to Madvi Hidma. The struggle for our forest and environment will continue. Now, referring to this particular protest, Bharatiya Janata Party has reacted very strongly. They've said, shocking, Delhi police must take strict action against those who have changed who have changed anti-India slogans under the garb of the protests in the national capital. In fact, as you also took us through the reaction, the Bharatiya Janata Party has called them, in fact, loonies who were out on the streets pretending to cry over air quality while carrying placards and shouting slogans glorifying the dead Naxalite Hidma Madvi, who, remember, was eliminated by the security agencies just last week. So Bharatiya Janata Party has reacted strongly. They are seeking strict action against these students that we can see during the protests.
Okay, all right. And it's not just about those posters, isn't it? In fact, there are dramatic protests in Delhi. In fact, it also turned violent. Over 15 arrested by the Delhi police. That's the update coming in. More than 15 of these protesters have now been arrested for assault and road blockade. So the Delhi police officials were also attacked with chili powder. The Delhi police said that they were attacked, and now some arrests have been made as well. My colleague Priyank Tripathi also joining us on the broadcast with the details. Priyank, what started off as a protest against air pollution turned violent as well, with even Delhi police officials coming under attack. 15 people being arrested. What are the details?
See, certainly, this was a protest which was in support of Naxal commander Hidma in the garb of air pollution. Because if you look at the sketches, it has been handmade sketches of posters of Hidma. It was very well known for these left-wing students that they will be stopped whenever Delhi police, they will be seeking permission from the Delhi police regarding protests in support of Hidma, because he was the top Naxal commander who had been involved in a series of attacks on the men in uniform as well. That's why they came in the garb of AQI, rising level of AQI, and then they sat at C hexagon, which is not a designated area. But what was very alarming, when the Delhi police started removing them forcefully after they sat down for approximately 1 hour, and it was creating difficult for the commuters. They used pepper spray and they attacked policemen, resulting into 6 and 7 of them getting injured. Right now, police officials are yet to give the exact number of arrests, but what our sources have been confirming that there have been 15 of them who have been arrested under the sections of obstructing public servant from discharge of his duty, as well as protesting at a wrong location and then blocking of the road. It is expected that in the second half of the day, they will be produced before the Patiala House Court, and then the court will have to take its own stand that whether they will be granted bail or not. But the fact of the matter is that how come someone can come in support of a Naxal leader who has been the first one who started attacking police personnel, and Hidma was the one who started this guerrilla warfare in the Naxals. Hidma was the one who also initiated one-to-one combat with the police personnel, which led to multiple warfare techniques which was used by the Naxals. So these literal students should first of all read about the history of Hidma, then start coming and claiming that he was the one who has been illegally encountered by the forces. This was an operation which was launched by the Telangana police, and he already had a bounty of 1.5 crore rupee. So these are very alarming thing for the society. But if you talk about yesterday's event, yes, it was a protest which was in the garb of AQI, but actually it was meant for support for Hidma, and the means which was taken by these people was totally illegal.
Okay, all right. Priyank, thank you for joining us with those details. Shivam, you know, the support that came out for an Naxalite leader, apart from that, there are also questions on how they were armed with pepper sprays and chili powder and why the Delhi police officials were attacked, raising several questions on what this protest was about. You know, on the other hand, there are many who have been talking about the pollution levels in the national capital, but clearly this protest was not about that.
Exactly, Pratibha. Now, the call was made even 2 days back regarding this particular protest that was supposed to happen at 4 in the evening at C hexagon. Remember, this is not the first protest that has happened when it comes to air pollution. We have seen earlier protests also happening at the India Gate only. At that time also detention happened, but that was purely because the permission was not granted. Now, yesterday what we've seen was, for the first 15 minutes, the slogan of air pollution and demand for the clean air were raised, but soon after that there were certain elements that started up with the posters and slogans in the favor of these Naxalite. Now, again, since the police has not given any official statement about how many people were arrested, it is difficult to say whether the entire protest was hijacked or whether there were certain elements that took over the entire thing and then changed the topic to their personal political agendas. Remember, this entire protest was happening under the banner of Delhi Coordination Committee for Clean Air, which is the student organization from different student unions have come together. So which among these student union was the one who held the posters of Madvi Hidma? Who were the ones who were aware about what the kind of things that they were doing is something that is under the investigation, and now police will bring more details about who were these people and from where did they come from.
Okay, all right. Shivam, thank you for joining us with those details. Big story. We're keeping a track of the developments on this story and the investigations that follow. For the moment, let's shift our attention now. Well, viewers, we've spoken of politics, yes, but sometimes personal attacks cross the line. And below the belt jibes have been aimed at Prime Minister Modi.